Hi, welcome to this week's energy video. We are Peyton, Corey, and myself, Yaila, and we're talking about what are energy blocks? What does it mean to have your energy blocked? What does that look like? And you're going to hear from our experience. So, Peyton, how about kicking us off?
Thanks, Yaila. Yeah, I think this is an amazing topic. I'm so glad we're talking about it because it's something that I think we can ease people's mind a bit by talking about. So when I hear the term blocked energy, the first thing that comes to my mind is this whole term of energy blocks. I think this is a term that puts a lot of people in a little bit of fear and a little bit of maybe feeling powerless or helpless. So maybe you are someone who has been to a healer or, a practitioner, and you've been told that you have energy blocks. I don't love the term energy block. So I prefer to call it an energy imbalance, because block, I think for a lot of people, just sounds very permanent. It sounds very serious. And of course it can be, but I think it can be more helpful if we think of what we might have called energy blocks as just an imbalance in our energy field. Because as we know, the way we describe things to ourselves, our narrative, is what creates our reality. So if we start to tell ourselves that we have an energy block, well, guess what? We start to create one. We start to manifest one. So I always like to think of these as just areas where our energy is not flowing properly, more like an interference. And this happens, of course, to everyone. We all have areas where our energy is not in perfect balance. We all have, these manifesting at various points in our life. But the good thing is energy can always be moved. It can always be moved into a state of balance, and it can always be flowing more freely, more beneficially. So one of the things that causes this condition or this situation that we often call an energy block is just what we are talking about when we talk about resistance. And that is anything in our energy field that is keeping our energy from flowing properly, from flowing freely. And as y'all have heard us talk about in so many of our videos, so many things contribute to resistance in our energy field. So that can be something like negative thoughts or limiting beliefs. They cause a contraction in our energy field. And that's what resistance kind of really is. It's a state of contraction, of limitation, of separation. And so that is what actually causes our energy to not flow properly. So some forms of resistance that you may be familiar with, of course, are thoughts and limiting beliefs. Things like templates, so global or planetary energies, can cause a restriction in our energy field. Things like frozen or suppressed emotions. So all those things that we have stamped down deep within us that we have refused to look at or haven't been able to look at, that is something else that can cause resistance, which again is just what keeps our energy from flowing properly. So when you think about energy blocks as just an interference in the way your energy is flowing, and when you know that this happens to all of us, we all have resistance, it's part of the earth experience, it makes it a little easier for us to feel empowered to change it. So one thing that always comes up when I think about a topic like this is, well, how do you know if you have this going on? What are some of the signs of energy imbalance that you may see in your life? Well, one of the first things that always comes to my mind is physical issues. So take a look at the condition of your body. And if your body is manifesting anything that doesn't feel good, that is uncomfortable, that is in a state of illness, maybe, that's a sign to you that you have some energy that's not flowing properly, that's not flowing in the ideal way. Because anything that is manifesting in our physical body started out as an imbalance in our energy field. So that's a great way to look for any areas that you may be imbalanced yourself. Another great sign of energy imbalance is those recurring issues in our lives. So that thing that keeps coming up for you, whether that is issues with money, whether that is issues in relationships, you name it, if it is one of those things that you have a continuous struggle with, that is a great indicator that you have some imbalance in your energy field in that area of your life. And so basically looking at your life and identifying anything the girls are making me laugh right now. Anything that is not going well is a sign to you that you may have some imbalanced energy in that area of your life. Because remember, the best way to look for any sign of imbalance in your life or in your energy field is to remember your life is a mirror. So if something is not going well, that means you have imbalance in your energy field in that area. And so something else that always comes to my mind when I think about, energy imbalances or what we might call blocks in our energy is that the size of the manifestation tends to match the size of the energetic imbalance. So if you just have a stray negative thought every once in a while, the manifestation is probably going to be small. You'll be annoyed for a couple minutes and then it'll pass away or pass through you. But if your whole life is going down in flames, that is probably a sign that you have a much bigger imbalance of energy going on. So one of the things about energy imbalances, or what is sometimes called blocked energy, is that it's going to grow if we don't deal with it. So if we avoid it, if we push it down, suppress it, distract from it, it's going to expand. It's going to get larger because that is the universe's way of showing us, hey, you're not in balance. You might want to check that out. So one of the things about energy imbalances is the sooner you tend to it, the sooner you identify it, do your healing work, all the great techniques that we talk about in our videos, the sooner you can move it out of your life and bring yourself back into balance. So I think we're going to talk in our next video about how to rebalance yourself. So I won't go into that in a lot of detail. We'll cover that in the next one. But that's what kind of comes to my mind when I hear people talk about blocked energy, or the way I like to think of it is just imbalanced energy. How about you, Corey? How do you look at it?
Thank you, Peyton. I love how you explained that. And yes, we were trying to make you laugh. Can't help it. That's what girlfriends are for. Well, blocked energy. I think of it as stuck energy, because I agree with you, Peyton, that when we think about blocked energy, it can be scary. It really can be scary. So I refer to it as stuck energy. So you know how you go, if any of you have been to an acupuncturist, and they stick like those little needles, in your body. The purpose of that is to unblock the energy, or the energy that could be stuck in your body, the meridian points, is to stick the needle in there so that when they take it out, the energy will flow. As you know, everything is energy. And when we start to learn about our energetic body, we start to realize that sometimes our energy doesn't flow nicely. And so it sometimes gets stuck. So yes, what is blocked / stuck energy? Well, a lot of it can be emotional. Not wanting to feel your feelings. It could be trauma. So energetically, when we go through a big experience in our life, could be trauma, people with PTSD, anxiety, even depression, that is a sign of stuck energy. And our physical bodies don't know the difference. So maybe you had an experience when you were a child, and somebody said, you're okay, you're just fine, you're fine. And that energy just gets put in someplace in your body and cozies into a nice corner pocket of your body. And you become an adult and something happens, and that energy becomes alive again. That is a sign of blocked or stuck energy, because our physical bodies don't know the difference. And unless we get familiar with the energetic body and am able to locate where stuck energy is, it will reemerge. So again, like Peyton was saying, was, situations that keep happening in our lives, that's a sign of stuck energy. Reoccurring thoughts when you obsess over something, or you just keep thinking about something over and over again, that is stuck energy. So one of the things to realize is that it can be removed. It can be dealt with. It can be healed so that you don't have to have that stuck energy. And most of us go around in life not even realizing that we have any stuck energy. And those are the ones that become challenges in our life. I loved what you said, Peyton, too, about illness. Emotions that get stuck in our body. When it becomes illness, that's a sign of stuck energy that we either don't want to look at or weren't taught how to look at, much less release it energetically. Because energy is that natural flow of, output, input, output, input. It's like I think of that bicycle chain, like when you're pedaling, unless it's going out and back in and out and back in, you don't go very far. So stuck energy is when you get something that either goes in that spoke or in that chain and you're just stuck. You can't move. So it is a really important topic that we're talking about, having blocked energy, because we're in a period of time right now where we're being asked to look at all that energy that is stuck or blocked in our bodies, in our energetic bodies, and clear them, because we're being called to bring in much more light into our bodies. And in order to do that, we need to do that. Blocked energy could be considered, what you look for when you're doing shadow work. The energy that stops you from living your fullest life. So when an anxiety comes up, us ladies, we always say our bodies never lie to us. And that's because our bodies are energy. And so even when you have physical pain in your body, that could be an indication that there is energy that's stuck and or blocked in your body. So, beliefs. Oh, I love the beliefs. Oh, beliefs, where we grow up with certain beliefs and we're living our lives with those beliefs, but there's something that's stopping us or that makes us uncomfortable. That is a really big sign of blocked energy. Being uncomfortable or really not wanting to do something, that resistance. And, there's that saying that says, whatever you resist persists. And so when I started this journey of recognizing, learning about energy and what is energy and how does it work and where is it and how do you locate it and how do you clear it? When I would resist clearing any of the stuck energy, it did get stronger and stronger and stronger. But I was able to recognize that it was a time to sit and get rid of that stuck energy without having to, have something catastrophic happen. So I think that's about all that I have for blocked energy. Yaila, what have you got?
Hanging on the edge of my seat to see if there's anything else coming. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate both of your explanations as far as blocked energy, stuck energy. So when I speak to my clients, whenever they come for an energy reading or healing, or even teaching my students just about how to read energy, I am clairvoyant. So I get pictures in my mind's eye and I correlate that to what is the energy showing me is going on. And so when I think of blocked energy, I think of, what comes to my mind immediately is the only thing consistent is change. We're always in some type of flow. Energy is meant to be moving. The energy is meant to be exchanged and moving, just like, the world goes around based on money coming in, money going out. Things are always evolving and changing. And when I think of blocked or stuck or stagnant energy, I think of it more of like a river flowing, right? If you've ever gone hiking or camping or into the woods, you would never want to drink or swim or be in stagnant water. It's usually toxic. There's usually things growing that are not healthy. There's usually bacteria or mold or just things going on that totally disrupt your overall health and vitality. When I think of blocked energy, it's kind of a similar analogy. There's places in your life that are not progressing or moving. And so when I look at someone's space and I might say you have blocked energy or stuck energy, I'm basically being shown places, whether it's like, for example, it might be in their legs where I've had visions of someone's feet and ankles literally in cement. Like they can't literally walk forward. And when I ask the energy, why is it showing me the person in cement, it usually has to do with beliefs or thoughts around being able to progress and move forward. They don't know the right steps to take. They feel like they need more information, or they can't do it. Somebody else won't let them do it. There's all these beliefs and thoughts around how to move forward would be one example. So blocked or stuck energy for me is just a lack of progression or moving forward. Why is it there? It could be resistance, whether it's from you or some outside thing. It could be a belief. It could be, in our school, we call it a perfect picture. Going back to the river analogy, let's say you have this idea of how to move forward can only be this one way. This is the only way it can move forward, but the river has its own natural flow. The universe has its own natural flow, and they can align you faster and quicker to what really matches for you. But we're stuck on, no, it needs to go around this rock and it has to go over this hill. And, if you've ever tried to watch a river go over a hill, it doesn't really work. It's going to get pulled and stagnant. And so when we're trying to micromanage how things are supposed to go, we can get stuck or blocked. And so I loved how the ladies brought up when we're resisting it, right? We're resisting the natural flow of things, and we're kind of blocking off things that could help us make the energy flow easier. And so if you feel like you are not progressing or moving forward in your life, chances are there's something in your space, meaning a thought, a belief, an action, you're, micromanaging the universe, there's something in your space that is blocking the natural flow of your alignment to where you want to go. And you can just start to get curious about what would that stagnation, that block, that stuck energy, that resistance be for you. And even just having that curiosity for yourself, you'll start to get answers. It'll start to make sense. We always ask, is this my energy or is this coming from somewhere else? Because sometimes growing up, the people around us had these visions of what we're able to do, we're capable of doing, what they actually saw us able to do or not do. And they only spoke to that. So we just put this little limited belief of, I'm only allowed to do this. I'm only capable of doing this. I'll only amount to X, Y, Z. But the truth is, when you're in just a natural flow and change and curiosity and not buying into some of those individual limiting thoughts, where you want to flow is limitless. The amount of the energy behind what you can create is limitless. There's a lot of options to go. So blocked or stuck energy, for me, it's just an awareness of what we have in our space. It's not something to worry about or feel like you can't move or you can't change. And that is one of the fun things about being able to not only teach people how to give energy readings and healings, but give people readings and healings, because you can kind of point out the places in their body, and places in our body do correlate to life situations. So if there's a certain chakra in the body that feels like there is some darker, heavy, stuck energy, you can ask, what is that? And when you have some insights, it kind of gives the person that you're giving the reading to, oh yeah, there is the situation that I'm giving more power to, I'm only allowed to make so much money because my boss thinks I can only make this much. The company I work for only gives this percentage of raise, when you're wanting to create more wealth for yourself. Like, well, that's you trying to force the river to go a different direction. If you were to open up other possibilities of like, okay, well, if I didn't believe that that was my only option, where else would the energy naturally flow? So you always have options as far as changing or shifting the energy. Having blocked or stuck energy is not a life sentence. It's not going to be posted on your gravestone. It's just an opportunity to let you know what is in your space and maybe areas that you can learn other ways to progress in. So whether that's learning more information or clearing old beliefs or finding additional support or whatever it is, there's always options for every type of stuck energy. And we're meant to be in flow. We're meant to be changing. And so if you notice that there is a block and you're wanting to make progress somewhere, it's just letting you know that the energy's ready to move more than it has been, whatever that looks like for you. So there's always options. That's what I would add. But ladies, anything else you want to add to blocked energy? No? Cool. Well, we hope this was helpful for you, giving you some insights and encouragement on ways to change it, ways to understand it. If you'd like to connect with any of us, please see the information below the video, and we will see you next week for a brand new topic. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, your comments. We appreciate you so much, and we'll see you next week.